Right, it has been a while since I have posted and uploaded. Yes, forgive me. I must say though, yeah, just to let you know, this is my new setup. So unless I have a guest that I'm interviewing or I'm collaborating with other creators, this is where I will be doing my videos from now on. My YouTube videos, you could say, my long form content. Also, as I grow, my room will grow. I feel like this room needs some character. My setup needs some character, you know what I mean? So I'll have to add a few things, yeah? Give it a bit of razzle dazzle. But yeah, man, I'm here, and from now on, obviously, with this setup, I'll be able to pump out videos a lot more frequently. So you could say this room is not even going to, it will become the OVO sweatshop of content. I will just be in here pumping out long form content. Who knows, two videos a week, 3 videos a week, 5 videos a week. Who knows? You see the crazy in my eyes right there. So there we go, yeah? First things first, this is something I've seen a lot, especially online. It's a conversation that's been taking place a lot. It's something that a lot of people are speaking about, and it is being finessed, yeah? There is a fear that a lot of men have, right? And that's being finessed, that's being used, right? And I understand, because obviously being used is horrible. Nobody wants to get used, nobody wants to get finessed, right? However, it is avoidable, yeah? So with this video today, I'm gonna teach you how to become finesse-proof, yeah? Finesse-proof. You're gonna have a bulletproof vest for them finesse bullets. Do you understand? You'll be protected at all times. What is the first rule of boxing? Protect yourself at all times. So you will protect yourself at all times, right? First things first. When it comes to the class of being finesse proof, I want you guys to understand one thing, yeah? You see the problem with guys that get finessed, they don't understand that they are actually rare. And when I say rare, I'm not talking about getting used makes them rare. I'm talking about their character, their personality, and the way in which they conduct themselves is rare, yeah? Here's what I want you to understand. A lot of you guys are being tricked by women into thinking that what you're doing is the bare minimum. It is the standard. It is common, yeah? But I'm here to tell you, you funding a woman's lifestyle, or you paying for everything, or you doing the most is not the bare minimum. It is not common, and I'm going to tell you why. You see water, yeah? Water is sold everywhere across the UK. You can buy water in every shop in the UK. You can buy it in the gyms. Yeah, you can get water in the office. Yeah? Wherever you are, even if you're in the warehouse, you can get water, right? Because water is common. Do you see people coming online and complaining about the fact that there is a lack of water? Have you ever seen a TikTok video or an Instagram reel? Why is there no good quality water in the UK? What happened to all the water? No, because it's common. Do you understand? So if good men or men that were funding lifestyles or men that was doing the most was so common that it becomes the bare minimum, why do women come online complaining about men that don't spend, complaining about men being stingy, complaining about men being generous, complaining that men don't spoil them? I thought it was common. You don't complain about what's common. So if they're complaining about it, statistically speaking, it's not common. Do you get my point? So that leads me to my second point, yeah? My second point is this. And it's a lot deeper than even just spending money or falling for what social media says a man should be, yeah? You need to heal. So apart from understanding that you are not the bare minimum and you're not common, you need to heal, yeah? I don't care how much of a nice guy you are. No man on planet Earth is doing something without wanting to get something in return. Every man is transactional to a degree. Do not give me that I did that out of the goodness of my heart. You didn't. Yeah? And that's why a lot of men get pissed off when they spend their money and they didn't get anything in return. Because as much as you think you're this super sweet, great, nice guy, You're really not. You are just wounded. Yeah? And I can only speak about myself. And I did a video, a story time on this, I think a year ago, a couple months ago. And I spoke about that time when I got set up by an older guy, yeah, that I used to work for when I was a kid. And I got lured somewhere and I got beat down, right? I didn't realize it, but that humiliation wound stayed with me for a very long time. And that's mostly because I didn't listen to my gut, yeah? I overrode my gut, right? Because of trust. I didn't realize it, but that level of shame stayed with me for a long time. I spoke about a time when I went to see a friend and I ended up getting rushed, yeah? I didn't realize it, but in these moments, especially for an extremely prideful person like myself, that shame stuck with me for years. Now, follow me, yeah? Because of that shame, I overcompensated in other areas to wash away that wound or wash away that shame, right? That overcompensation came with spending a lot of money or trying to live a certain lifestyle, because I thought, if I can live this lifestyle, if I can make all of this money, then I don't have to feel the shame or the wound of what happened, right? Right. But I'm here to tell you, yeah, overcompensation will not heal the wound. And overcompensation for me was over-investing in one or two trash women, right? That was overcompensation for me. And living a lifestyle to wash away what happened in the past. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work like that. You need to make the steps, yeah, and talk to yourself and understand that whatever you're doing is coming from a hurt place, right? Only you understand what's hurt you or what's happened to you in life to make you do the most. Maybe when you was a kid, you got called like a tramp or something. You might not have had the newest shoes in school, so all the kids was laughing at you. You might have been considered ugly when you were in school, so all the girls didn't like you. Do you understand? You might not realize it, but all of these things are little wounds, yeah? And as you get older, you probably realize, cool, if I spend all this money, if I do the most, yeah, these girls, they're gonna like me, they're gonna rock with me. And I'm here to tell you, that's the first mistake you made, yeah? The second mistake, apart from understanding that you are valuable and you are rare to a degree, right? That moves me on to the third mistake, yeah? You don't slow things down. You see very skilled football players here, they know when to slow down the game. Have you ever seen a midfielder who just knows how to slow down the pace of the game? The game's moving fast. Do you understand? Balls are pinging here, here, here. The game's moving mad. What does he do? When the ball touches his feet, he just slows down the game a little bit. Yeah? He uses his vision. He looks at the pitch. Okay, cool. That player's over there. That player's over there. Cool, we're going to slow down the momentum. I could ping a long ball over there, or I could do a short pass here, or I can just move it up the field. Extremely good midfielders know when to slow down the game, yeah? They don't take too many touches on the ball. They don't rush. They don't kick the football without looking up to see their options. Slow down the game. And here's what I mean by that, yeah? You'll meet a woman, right? And you've only known her for 2 to 3 months. And she's telling you that she loves you. You don't find that strange. You don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot wrong with that. Does that make sense? You guys will meet a woman, and because she's pretty and she's got good vibes, you guys will jump into a relationship with her in the 2nd month of knowing her, the 3rd month, the 4th month. You don't actually know that girl. You've met her representative. That makes sense? You're moving too fast. Do you understand? And not only are you moving too fast, yeah, you're moving fast with your investment. You've just met this girl. Like, listen, I've met girls, yeah, and within the 3rd month, they suddenly have all these issues. You don't find that strange? When I met you, you was fine. And now you suddenly need all this help. All of these things are happening to you at once. That's strange. Yeah? Nobody who just met you should be asking you for favors. They do not know you from nowhere. I have friends that I have known since I was in primary school. I do not ask those people for favors. That makes sense? And I've known them all my life. So if you've met a woman and within 2 to 3 months, she's asking you for all this stuff, that's not normal. Understand if you was with her for a year or 2 years. I even still think it's strange, because if she's not your baby mom or you're not married to her, then I don't understand why you're sending money, but I do understand that everybody's different, and if you've been with her for a length of time and you want to help her out with certain things, I do understand that two things can be true at once, yeah. But the part I don't understand is how a person can just meet someone and just be demanding help, and you guys are giving it to them. Why? Listen, I've had girls here ask me for some stuff and say, I don't know you from nowhere, and they're getting angry. That's another thing you guys need to understand. How do they handle no? How do they handle disappointment? Yeah, that whole gender created a movement saying that no means no, no means no, no means no. That was their whole movement. I remember when George Floyd died, yeah, they started talking about relationships. I was thinking, what the hell's going on? I thought we were just talking about George Floyd. Do you understand? Now, of course, you cannot compare a person's body being violated to somebody spending money, but I'm saying the overall premise still stands. Yeah? For a group of people that created a movement saying no means no, and you don't want to spend your money on certain things, and you don't want to do certain things, and they don't understand that no means no, that's a problem. That makes sense? How do they handle disappointment if you do not want to spend on that holiday? If you do not want to buy a certain thing, if you do not want to eat out at a certain place, my brother, there's nothing wrong with that. Do not let anybody bully boy you into doing things you don't want to do. That makes sense? How do they handle disappointment? Let me tell you this for free, yeah? And this is another problem where a lot of you guys go wrong. When it comes to dating or going places, you might not have realized it, but you end up going to all the places that she wants to go to. Most women have a list on their phone of all the places they would like to go to. However, due to circumstances, they can't afford to go to all of these places. So what do they do? They find a nice little idiot like you who is going to take them to all the places that's on their list, and they don't have to pay for it. So you need to tell me all the times you've been meeting her, you've gone to all the places that she wanted to go to. You don't find that strange? She's never said, where would you like to go to? What should we do? Everything's about her. That's a red flag. Pardon. That's a red flag, my brother. That's not normal. I'm trying to get you guys to understand all the things that are normal and what is not normal. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you should have a choice. Let me teach you a little something about women. Yeah? When women like you, they will chill with you in a homeless shelter just so they can be around you. They do not care. I've met up with girls in the past and they just said, oh, let's just go for a walk in the park. I'm not even a walk in the park guy. But if that's what you want to do, so be it. But the point I'm trying to make is they just wanted to be around me so I could walk in the park. If you're dealing with a woman who's making you feel bad because you don't want to go to certain places or do certain things, that's an issue. That makes sense? And if she had such a problem with you being boring, she should have just found a guy that does all those things anyways. No woman should be trying to change you. If she's met you and you're somebody that likes to order Chinese, watch your football, drink a desperado and fall asleep in front of the TV, she knew what she signed up for. She shouldn't come into your life and try to manipulate and change you. That's not normal. Yeah? Which moves me on to my other point. A problem with a lot of you guys is you have ego. Ego is what has led you to being used. Yeah? A lot of you guys will meet a woman, right? And you'll be having this conversation. And one thing you need to understand is women study us. I know they like to act like we're these insufferable, yeah, dogs that they can't stand. But they study us, they watch us, they study us, they learn about us. Do you understand? One thing they've learned is that a lot of us have ego, yeah? You don't find it funny that you could be talking to a woman and they're straight, well, the men I rate don't do that. Who cares about what you rate? Who even are you? That's the mentality you lot need to have. So when they start saying stuff, well, the men I talk to, who cares about, who are you? Oh my God, this random person has mythological men that she rates. However will I live? That's the mentality you need to have. Who even is she? Who cares what you rate? Who are you? Do you understand? Some of you men here like, oh, she rates these kind of guys, so I need to be like them so she can rate me. Let me teach you something here. No man on planet Earth has ever got far in his life because women rated him. And that's not coming from a misogynistic place. That's just a fact. Up until the other day, they didn't have rights. That's a fact. So you mean to tell me all great men throughout history reached where they reached due to individual brilliance or the men underneath them pushing them? So if throughout history we've always seen examples of men reaching the promised land through their own merit, why suddenly do you lot care if women rate you? I'm not being funny, but no man has ever succeeded in life because women rated him. He's made money. If you compare that to success, I know some people do. But that's usually with music. Outside of music, where has a woman rating a man ever got him? Ask yourself. How has it bettered his life in any way? It hasn't. Like I said, that's not coming from a misogynistic place. That is a fact. And I'm here to tell you, stop battling ghosts. Like some of you men will be talking to a girl and she'll be telling you all the stuff her ex did for her. Or all the men that she's dated, or all the men that she knows. And some of you lot will allow her. One thing you need to understand is she's trying to trigger insecurity when she does this. And some of you guys will think, cool, this is what she's used to. Let me match that. But if those guys were so great and amazing, she would be with them. So the next time a woman does that, say, can I have your ex's numbers? He sounds like an amazing guy. Let me phone him and tell him to take you back. How hard is that? Do you understand? Do not let comparison trick you out of your position. No real woman who's worth anything is going to use other men to get you to fix up. Either you do it or you don't. Why is she trying to trigger insecurity and that? That's not normal. Do you understand? So like I said, you've got to heal. Get rid of your ego. It is good to have dignity and pride. Do not have ego. Ego will get you in some nuts positions. Does that make sense? Pause. Yeah. What's another one? Understand that you are not common. Yeah. What's another one? What else did I mention? I even forgot. But if you look through the video, you'll remember. But all these different things. Do you understand? Like, whatever woman you're dealing with also needs to be a team player. You know, like F1, when you watch F1, yeah, they have pit gaps or stop gaps where they got to change the wheels so you can get back on the track and win to the best of your ability. Do you understand? They know that refreshing your wheels is going to give you the best chance of winning. Yeah. Any woman you're with that's not a team player or is stressing you out or causing you problems or not being a team player, that's not the woman for you. That's called destabilization. She's destabilizing you so that you're easier to control. That gives her leverage. Remember, yeah, most people follow patterns. I can only talk about myself. Who I am on Monday is who I'll be on Friday, right? If you're dealing with a woman who's one way on Monday, another way on Tuesday, she's nice to you on Wednesday, she's crashing out on you on Friday, that's not normal. That's someone who's destabilizing your nervous system. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you're much easier to control. And then that's what's caused by intermittent reinforcement. So because she's so horrible to you 9 times out of 10, the 1 or 2 times where she is kind to you, you're so grateful for the times that she's kind to you that you'll do anything just to get that version of her. And I'm here to tell you, that version of her is not real. She doesn't have to pretend anymore. One thing a lot of you guys need to understand is pretending is exhausting. How many of you lot go to your job where you have to change the way you talk, change the way you dress, change the way you act, change the stuff that you're interested in, just so you can fit in or survive in this job? You think she doesn't think that way about you? She does. You're pissing her off because you're forcing her to be someone she's not so that she can benefit from you. And you're angering her. That makes sense? So that's why she's extra horrible to you, because you're making her pretend. This is who she really wants to be. She wants to live her truth. But you're not letting her live her truth. That makes sense? Pretending is exhausting. All you are to a lot of women is a good job. You're just a good job, bro. I know that's hurtful to hear, and it's not really something you want to listen to, but that's kind of all you are. You're just a good job. And she will say or do anything to get that job. When you're in the interview, how many of you have gone to an interview and you lied through your teeth to get the job? You pretended to be the greatest worker in the world. You told them how hardworking you are, how diligent you are, how much you want this role, how much you listen to your managers, how much you're a team player. How many of you have done that? You think she's not doing that to you. You interviewed her. She said what she needed to say so she can get the role. She's gotten the role now. How many of you, after you pass your probation, you're not the same person as when you started? She's passed her probation. She doesn't need to pretend anymore. Do you know how many guys out there are saying, oh, once she got the ring, she changed. Once she had a baby, she changed. She didn't change. That's who she was all this time. She just doesn't need to pretend anymore. She said, what am I pretending? Pretending is exhausting. Do you understand? So that's that. And I think a lot of you lot need to pay more attention. Pay attention to her spending habits. Yeah? Listen, I know women, yeah, or I've dated women in the past, they can tell you the price of butter. Yeah? The price of milk. How much this costs, where does this cost, what's value for money. I can't tell you those things. I just tap my card. Do you understand? So that means on some level, she is very frugal, good with her money. She cares about value for money. She cares about misspending. Does that make sense? So why is it when you're the one that's spending, all her spending habits have gone out the window and she expects the world? You don't find that strange? Talk to these women. Ask them what they did on holiday. Monitor what they did on holiday. Let me tell you something, yeah? There's a lot of women who go on holiday and they'll stay in the resort or the AP apartment or the villa, right? They'll drink. They'll eat on the beach. They'll walk around. They might do 1 or 2 activities and that is their holiday finito. So why is it when it's your turn she wants to swim with the sharks? Oh, you want to swim with the sharks? Now why? What's so good about the sharks? You never swam with the sharks. But when it's your money, she wants to swim with the sharks. Your money has no limit. When you're the one spending, she doesn't even finish her food. She doesn't even complete the activity. That's a red flag. You don't ingratitude, yeah, is an awful trait to have, yeah, man or woman. So if you're dealing with a person that can't even show you gratitude, you're dealing with, you know what your future looks like, which moves me to my next point. Stop being moved when a woman says, I appreciate you. Doesn't mean anything. She's acknowledged what you've done. Just because she says, oh, you made my life easier, I appreciate you, thank you. That's not appreciation, that's acknowledgement. She acknowledges what you've done. Anyone can acknowledge anything. Do you understand? I can acknowledge that the skies are grey or it's raining tomorrow. I can acknowledge that someone else is a good athlete. What does that have to do with appreciation? Appreciation is shown through effort. What has she ever done for you to show that she appreciates you? Think of all the money that you've spent on this girl. Yeah? You mean to tell me she couldn't peel off a little £30 so you can cut your hair? Nothing. She didn't even treat you to a Nando's. Nothing. And you think that girl loves you? My brother, have higher standards. Low standards will get you low vibrational experiences. Heighten your standards. That makes sense. Monitor her. Watch her. On top of that, you need to listen to what she rates about a man. When a lot of women like to say, oh, I respect this guy, but why do you respect him? If it's about money, you know what her mentality is. That makes sense? When she's bragging about her exes or the men she's dated, what is she bragging about? Like, at least tell me that he used to donate to charity for the little blind kids. Tell me something like that. But if you're continuously talking about money, then I know your character, I know your personality. If you're talking about what the man has, then that says a lot about you. Because why are you bragging about what a next man has? Why are you outsourcing your value? Because that's what it is. That's like those guys who brag about having millionaire friends, but are you a millionaire? No. So why are you bragging about it? Why are you trying to eat off another man's accomplishments? So if she's telling you, yeah, my ex had his own house, he drove this, he had his own business. Yeah, he had that. Just because she slept with him, that doesn't mean that's now her value. That's not her level. That was an experience. She experienced it. The experience is over. That makes sense? Monitor all of these things, which leads me to another point, yeah? You need to be thankful. You need to be thankful. I see a lot of men, and I don't want to call it bitching and crying because that's a bit harsh. I see a lot of men complaining, yeah? or highlighting that they got finesse for their money, their time, a free dinner, she might have used him as an Uber driver, whatever it is. You need to be thankful and count your lucky stars. Do you understand? You need to be thankful that the woman that used you is not smart enough to play the game she wants to play. One thing you need to understand is there are a lot of women out here that want to be finesses. They want to use men, but they're not smart enough for the game they're playing. You lot need to be thankful that you never met a true manipulator, because the higher you go in life and when you go into certain rooms, you will meet some truly cunning women. The women you're dealing with, they're little fish. They're small fries. Let me tell you why I say that, No clever person is going to be horrible to someone that they're benefiting from. Does that sound like a smart person to you? That's like me going to a restaurant and I spend my money and somebody spits in my food and throws my plate off the table. Are you going to expect customers to come back after you've done that? That's a bad business person, no? So if you're dealing with a woman that's rude to you, or she's disrespected you, or she's treated you badly, right? Even though you've paid for everything, you've done everything, that's not a clever person. Because she's benefiting from you, but she's alienating you. That means that she doesn't have the emotional regulation for the game she's playing. She is a little fish within the Game of Thrones. You need to be thankful. Let me tell you something. I have worked with some women, yeah? And do you know what she told me? She said there's this guy that was earning a certain amount a year. I'm not going to disclose that much, right? And she was interested in him, right? But he had an illness. I think his illness had something to do with his lungs, yeah? Or he had a heart illness. You know, this girl searched up, all the symptoms, the prognosis, everything about that illness. And when she spoke to him, she told him she had the exact same thing. She mirrored him down to the T. The hospital experience, what the symptoms are like, what it felt like, the duration of time she was on medication. Do you understand? She was interested in what he was interested in. She mirrored this guy so well, he thought he found his soulmate. Be very thankful you have not met a woman like that. You see a clever woman that's trying to manipulate you, she is calculated. Yeah? She'll keep you sweet. Do you understand? She'll flatter your insecurities. If you're insecure about your height, she'll tell you it's not that deep. If you're insecure about your look, she'll tell you how handsome you are. If you are insecure about your intelligence, she'll tell you that you are clever. Do you understand? She will keep you sweet. She will mirror all your interests. On top of that, she will integrate herself into your life. Your family will become her family. When I was a teenager, this is girl that I was talking to, I came home one day, and when I opened my door, she was there on my dining table eating Wotsits. I said, Mom, why'd you let her in? She said, oh, she's such a sweet girl. She said, you guys are here to study, whatever. When I got there, she said, oh, by the way, babe, I've cleaned your room for you. And I did all of this. So should we watch some TV together? Oh, I couldn't believe my jaw was on the floor. I said, wow, these women exist. Do you understand? There's women out there, they want to get good with the family. Before you know it, your mum's saying she's such a sweet and amazing girl. Before you know it, she's at your house before you even get there. Before you know it, she's going to the family function. She's helping in the back with the aunties cooking the food. And all your family loves her. Her family will become your family. Be thankful you don't meet women like that. That makes sense? You guys are hurt and upset that you discovered a very rude and disrespectful and volatile woman who used you. Thank your lucky stars, bro. There's women out there that will intertwine your assets. She will set up joint bank accounts. There's another woman I met in my workplace quite a while back, when I did used to work at this place. And what she said to me, she said, I was with this guy for 10 years. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but how she mentioned it, she said there's a law in the UK that if you're with somebody for 10 years, it's similar to being married to them. So you can get the house, you can get certain assets. You don't even need to marry him. Just be with him for 10 years. She's like, I was with him for 10 years. I did my 10 years. She spoke about it like it was a prison sentence. She said, I did my 10 years. Can you imagine? Imagine that. And she said, now I get all the assets and I'm done with him. Imagine waiting 10 years to get some of these assets. That's some Count of Monte Cristo stuff. Be thankful you haven't met women like that. Be thankful you met women that were short-term thinkers, that gave them short-term results. What did she really get out of you? Nothing. Nothing tangible anyways. Be thankful. I'm telling you, there are some different kind of women out there. Do you understand? Yeah. Like I said, they will mirror you. You'll think you found your soulmate. They'll integrate themselves into your family. They'll integrate themselves into your profession. Yeah? Let's say you're, I don't know, an athlete. She'll be the one cooking you your meal preps and doing your protein shakes. You'll think, oh my God, I found such a great woman. But then before you know it, she'll be saying, let me speak for you, babes. You know you're not the best talker. Now before you know it, you've got her in meetings. She's taking a look at contracts. Why does she need to look at the contract? That's what the lawyers are for. But no, she's taking a look at all the contracts and all of these things. Before you know it, she's made herself indispensable. You can't get rid of her. She's integrated herself into the fabric of your life. If you leave, your life falls apart. Be thankful you never met women like that. So if you are a man that did get used for something like, I don't know, food or clothes or a holiday or anything like that, be thankful it wasn't something that could have ruined you in the long term. Because there is some true to the game hustlers out there. Do you understand? Simple. So those are just a few things I would say. Do you understand? Like, definitely slow down the game, man. I see a lot of guys moving very quickly. Their first dates are some grandiose stuff. Like, they move so quick. And you need to understand as well, yeah, a user or an opportunist will never stay where there's no opportunity. So if you long out the process, if that person really wants to get to know you, they will stick around and get to know you. That makes sense? Whether it takes 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, because they're interested in you, your essence. If a person is dealing with you and they start to get frustrated and angry in month 3, month 4 when they're not getting what they want, that person's a user. And I've seen this happen to guys before where they got bullied, basically emotionally bullied into giving more than they wanted to give. She got what she wanted out of the guy and she just made up a fake reason to break up with him. Do you know how much guys out there, a woman's made up a fake reasons to break up with them out of nowhere? Well, you did this a couple months ago. If what he did was such a problem, she would have left at the moment. Why did she let it go on months before getting what she wanted to now cut him off? You don't find that strange? Or she'll tell him, it's not me, it's you, I need to heal. If she knew she had all these issues and she needed to heal, why was she getting a relationship in the first place? So suddenly, after not getting what she wanted or getting everything she wanted, she suddenly became so self-aware. You don't find that strange? Where was this self-awareness before the relationship? Do you understand? So guys need to look at these things, man. And on top of that, don't let any woman rush you into anything. This is not even just about spending money. This is about family stuff, yeah? Why does she only met you the other day, yet she wants you to meet her family? Why? That makes sense? If your pants was hanging down to your knees and you smelled like weed and cigarettes and you lived on a diet of Rustler burgers, yeah, and you had crust in your eyes, she would not want her family to meet you. Or if you was a normal guy, just a clean normal guy, but your job might be working co-op or the supermarket, she would not want her family to meet you. That makes sense? And a lot of women sleep with broke guys. They just don't wife them. Or they don't enter relationships with them. Do not let this lie that, oh, I don't date broke men. They do. There is a lot of broke men who are attractive that women are, like, women have feelings, bro. There's a lot of men they're attracted to. Like, she might like the way he looks. She might like his physique. She might like his... Do you understand? And he's cooking her. She'll invite him over at 12 and kick him out at 6 in the morning. Nobody knows he exists. He's a creature of the night. All he knows is darkness. When he goes to a house, it's dark. When he leaves, it's dark. He's a nocturnal creature. His only job is to come there, service up the engine, and leave. So do not let them lie to you and pretend they don't sleep with broke men. They do, just nobody knows about him. He's just a dirty little secret. So you, the guy that's done well in life, you might have the shiny job title, you might have the watch, you might have the business, the clothes. You're well-spoken, you're presentable. You look good for her to bring home to her family. One thing you need to understand is a lot of women are hive-minded. They care what people think about them, especially their family. So when she brings you to the family function, her family's not going to look at her like she's a failure. That makes sense? But you've not even been dating her for a long period of time. So that means, once again, she's outsourcing her value. Why is she bringing home or bringing to her family a man she's only known for like 2 months? That don't make sense. Do you get what I'm saying? Shirley met you the other day. So why? Because you're being used. And you see the problem with that? When you start to meet family members, yeah? She's integrating you into her family. It will be a lot harder for you to leave. Do not fall for these tricks. Which moves me to my next point, yeah? I've seen a lot of rookies and level 1 players fall for this. If a woman lives by herself, do not get flattered if she asks you to move in. Whenever I hear guys say, yeah, she lives by herself and she asked me to move in, she told me to move in, I think, you're a fool, dummy. And he's looking at me like, why am I saying that? Let me tell you what. First, she'll move you in. Then before you know it, she's going to start saying stuff like, you should get a key. You're always here. You might as well just get a key. Now you've got the key. Now you're at her house. You're lounging about. You're eating wings. You're kicking up your foot. You're watching Netflix. Life is sweet, isn't it? Life is just sexy. Oh, life is sexy, isn't it? Life's got a BBL. Yeah? You're enjoying yourself. But then out of nowhere, she's suddenly going to start having problems. Right? Now that she's had problems, you come in. But you're living there. And you're the man. So now she expects you to be a man. Before you know it, it's going to turn into, well, babe, you live here now. You might as well start paying 50%. So you think you're a real man, right? You're a real man, Eli. You're just a real man. You're the realest of men. Life as a real man. Yeah? If you dropped a mixtape, that's the mixtape's name, innit? Life of a real man. Well, let me tell you something about being a real man. Yeah? A lot of guys fall for this trap. You are going to start paying rent for a place where your name is not even on the tenancy or any form of documents. Dummy. And a lot of guys fall for that. If you don't think guys are living like that, let me tell you, guys are living like that. There's a lot of guys out there being real men and paying money for properties and their name is not on any form of documents. You are a paying homeless man. That's worse than a homeless man. 'Cause at least the homeless man is homeless on the streets. The streets are his house. And the streets do not ask him to pay rent. He's just homeless. You're homeless and paying rent. You're a bigger dummy than him. Do you understand? At least with the homeless man, something might have happened to him in life for him to be homeless. You chose to be a paying homeless man. That's bad. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Guys are homeless and paying rent. And that's the thing, bro. Like, and before you know it, 50% will become 100%. Now you're paying for the whole thing. If your name is not on no tenancy or no document, do not be moving in with women, bro. That is how you get funneled into a life of paying rent. Do you understand? Don't be flattered. Don't think you're the guy. Don't think, yeah, she loves me so much. No. She's setting you up. Like I said, you're a farm animal. She's fattening you up so the farmer can eat you. And before you know it, you're paying rent for a place where your name is not even on the tenancy. Come and see life. Yeah? Cool. I'm trying to think. What other little scenarios? There's a couple others. But these are just little things to avoid getting finessed, to make yourself finesse-proof, yeah? You got to know the tricks to the trade. Does that make sense? And even on a basic level, yeah? Even when it comes to enjoyment, or enjoying yourself, or going places, or spending your money, yeah? Like, I think I've kind of already mentioned that, to be fair. The whole no means no thing. So I've actually kind of already mentioned that. I would say, what's another good example? I think I've got the main ones. Those are essentially the main ones. Oh, another one. If you live by yourself, yeah? Don't let them move in. Don't. She can come to chill, watch TV, do other stuff, but do not let it be a thing. Because before you know it, she's moving bags into your place. Do you understand? Then it's gonna turn into, I might as well have a drawer here. Can I just leave my bag here? Let me leave these shoes. I'll come back for it another time. Before you know it, she's basically moved in. And now, yeah, you'll be paying rent for your place already because you live there, yeah? But mind you, yeah, she'll be saving all her money while you pay rent for a place you already live in. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of you guys aren't going to ask her for rent. I know every man likes to talk and act like he's a wicked man, yeah? But a lot of you aren't going to ask her for rent. Do you understand? So now she gets to move out of her parents' house, where her parents are stressing her. She's living with you for free while she saves all her money. And then once again, she'll just make up a fake reason to break up with you. She'll say something stupid like, oh, well, I remember that time when you liked a girl's picture 6 months ago. If it was a problem, she would have raised it 6 months ago. Why wait 6 months later and use that as the reason to break up with someone? Brother, yeah? You got to know the tricks to the trade, my brother. Yeah, or you're finished. And going back to my point earlier about being thankful about the kind of women you haven't met, yeah? You need to understand, there's a certain archetype of woman out there. She went to the best schools, yeah? She's used to the best things, right? She's surrounded by high-level guys, right? I don't really like to use the word high value all the time. I think that word's kind of been lost in translation a bit. So I'll say high level, right? High earning, those kind of things, right? So she knows how to pretend and how to behave and how to conduct herself to get a certain type of man. You need to be thankful you haven't met women like that. The reason these women always end up with multi-millionaires or, like I said, high earning, plus 6 figures, etc., is because they know how to play the game. That's literally all it is. It's all about playing the game. You need to be thankful that you haven't met women who knew how to play the game. Therefore, you haven't lost your house. You haven't lost any of your assets. You're not bankrupt. You're not publicly disgraced. That is another thing, yeah? Finesse-proof. And this is what it means, yeah? Another aspect or another facet of it. You, my good brother, need to be very careful what you tell a lot of these women, all right? A lot of you guys like to use women as a therapist, yeah? A lot of you guys like to use women as a therapist. So you're sitting down, you're pillow talking, you're spilling all your secrets. You're sitting there saying, I was abused when I was 7. You're telling her all these things, right? You don't realize it, but she's recording things. And when she's recording things, she's going to use your insecurities or your pain, so to speak. Forget even insecurities, your pain. And she's going to use that against you. That's why they can say stuff to you like, oh, you're scared to receive love and all of these things. You're probably not scared to receive love. But because you told her a story about your family, she's using that to manipulate you into certain decisions. Literally all it is. Do you understand? Be careful what you tell them. And the reason I say that is because women are a different beast. A woman will humiliate herself just to humiliate you. Yeah? That's some kamikaze stuff. You can't defeat a human like that. I mean, you can, but if you're prideful, it's not going to work. And where some of you guys go wrong is you pour your heart out to them and you don't realize, especially if you're somebody who's quite high profile or you're out there, she will run to the internet, she will stick a camera in her face and she will say, surviving Christopher, surviving Jay. Do you understand? And she'll sit there like this and say, and it happened last year. And then she was going to tell a story about you. And she will publicly disgrace you. That makes sense? You're finished. Because we all know, as much as I don't like to quote the 48 Laws of Power, I think it's a terrible book for terrible people. But one of the things it definitely did get right is protect your reputation or guard your reputation at all costs, right? If she knows she has the ammunition to publicly disgrace you, that she can manipulate you. One thing you need to understand is women are not physically stronger than us. They cannot kick our asses. If women were stronger than us, they would be bullying us, but they cannot. So the only thing they can do is manipulate you with words or manipulate your feelings. Does that make sense? So you guys telling these women about your childhood trauma or telling your women, these women about the politics in your friendship group and all of this, you might not realize it, but you're just giving her the ammunition to use you and the ammunition to manipulate you. That makes sense? And that's why during arguments, they might threaten to say something. And you can be angry at her all you like, but you gave her the weapon to cut you. That's all it is. So keep your mouth shut. All the things I've named, Those are the more solid ones. Yeah, they're the more solid ones in becoming finesse proof, of course. And there's a few others. I mean, there is a few others. I could go into further detail. I think I've explained enough. I think everything I've given you guys is enough to not get finessed. If you have that understanding, you should be fine. You should definitely be fine. Like I said, do not get tricked into believing this whole the men I rate, or I talk to these kind of men, or I'm used to dating this kind of guy. Let me tell you something. Anyone who can do something will do it. Also, do not listen to threats. Threats are about leverage. If she wanted to leave you, she would. Women are ruthless like that. If she wanted to leave you, she would. So if she's threatening you, she doesn't actually want to leave. She's just getting you under leverage, under control. Do you understand? And why I say you shouldn't listen to any of that, yeah, is because, like I said, if somebody wants to do something, they would, right? I can't wake up tomorrow and just start playing for Chelsea and go on to win the Premier League. I just can't, right? So if you're talking to a woman and she starts saying, well, I can talk to these guys, or I can deal with these guys, 9 times out of 10, they can't. And once again, no real woman is going to threaten you with other men. So it's like, if she does this, leave. Learn how to leave. That's my last point, and that is how I'm going to close. Learn how to leave. A lot of you lot don't know how to leave. And that's why you stay in these bad positions. Do you understand? The sunk cost fallacy is kicking you lot's asses. It's killing my community. It's killing my people. Worse than Stardog. Yeah? Sunk cost fallacy has done more damage to the community than Stardog. Yeah? Just because you spend a certain amount, that does not mean you need to stay with her. We spend money all the time. You know how many businesses have done a marketing campaign that's failed? Do you think every business that did a market strategy, it popped the first time? No! Are they going to cry and stay somewhere or keep using the same campaign just because they put money into it? No, they're not. You tried that campaign, it did not work. Take your money and invest it elsewhere. That's it. Start thinking of yourselves as a business. If you start to think of yourselves as high-level companies, I promise the way you conduct yourself in the dating market is different. Do you understand? And not even to repeat points, but like I said, you guys need team players, yeah? Women that are down for the cause. Do not deal with a woman that wants you to serve her, or who has main character syndrome, or acts like she's doing you a favor by being with you. You guys need a Nemanja Vidic. That's the kind of woman you want. Someone who's going to dive in for the tackle, put their face in front of the boot, go for the badge. That's who you need. Old school John Terry. Do you understand? You don't need divas like Anelka. You won't go anywhere. Yeah? That's how you move. That's how you conduct yourself. So yeah, for the most part, I think I've named the more solid points. And you guys should be fine with that. Of course, if there's anything more you want to know, or there's any other topics you'd like me to speak on, naturally my DMs are open. I do love to have these conversations. And yeah, that's about it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'll be pumping out a lot more content more often now, and you won't have to wait as much for the post to take place. So yeah, man, that's all. And like I always say, make civilian life great again.